It's like 110 outside, and Jarvis's apartment wasn't habitable.
Barely, yes. It's insane out here. So don't ever live in South Texas in the summer, or in the We're gonna pass this off because we've only got one mic here. So but don't ever live in South Texas or Arizona or any of the southern states in the summer because it's insane. Triple digits like for the past 2 months, which is nuts. But anyways, speaking of nuts, we're sharing one microphone today. So that should make for an interesting dynamic. And we've also got an incredible movie to talk about today. What movie are we talking about today, brother?
Barbie
On Full-Time Movie Fans. Obviously, I'm your host, Jarvis. Just call me Jarvis. And then we have Michael. And I'll let you. Do you want to add to that?
Yeah, just call me Michael.
Just call him Michael. Don't worry about his last name. You don't need to know. Don't Google him. Don't find him on Instagram. Don't Snapchat him. Don't TikTok him.
Don't show up to Heroes Hideout.
just hang out with us on here. Yeah, he's plugging a card hobby shop that he co-owns. It's a great place to be. But anyways, we're talking about Barbie. How crazy is that? Yeah. Did you ever think this was going to be in your future when you were a young boy?
Yeah, just what everybody needs, right, is just two dudes talking about a movie about women. Anyways, we've been full-time movie fans. We'll see y'all next time.
We've been full-time movie fans since day one when we were born. Just came out the womb loving movies and never looked back, and it's brought us here. Again, so now this one, I mean, this movie's been doing insane numbers like that. It's been making so much, I think. But this is one of those movies that it's making insane numbers because it's just a good movie, and there's no two ways about it. This one, I don't know. Let's start off with, do you have some facts or things about the director and some of the cast? I think I saw Michael Cera. I was watching a YouTube video this morning. He was talking about some of the roles that he's been in, and the Barbie one. He was like, I guess his agent was like, "Yeah, they contact you. We're not sure if you'd be interested." He was like, "Call him back. Tell him I'm absolutely want to do that." Which his character was, I thought his character was great in there. Alan's great.
Yeah, I've got lots of facts and lots of opinions. I'll give you both at the same time. So, Greta Gerwig's a phenomenal director. I went into this movie going, I'm not going to go see a Barbie movie. I'm going to go see a Greta Gerwig movie because she's just so good at what she does, and I love her to death. And she is up there in probably like my top 5 favorite directors ever. She's just so good. And I think that I had a lot more context going into the movie of what it was going to be about because of that. Not to toot my own horn or anything, but I do love Greta Gerwig movies so much. First Greta Gerwig movie I ever saw was Lady Bird, and I saw it 3 times in theater, and I brought my uncle one time. My uncle...
Only 3?
Only 3. Yeah, my uncle's one of those guys who's like, nah, I only like Transformer movies and Michael Bay movies. And he came out of that one. Yes, yeah, and The Expendables. And he came out of Lady Bird, and he was like, I can't believe that. It's such a phenomenal movie. I never thought that I could like relate to like a teenage girl. And I went, yeah, that's kind of like how movies work, man. You learn some perspective on other people. It's crazy, isn't it? So that's been my thing with Greta Gerwig the entire time. She makes phenomenal like character stories.
She'll make you relate to a teenage girl.
Yeah, easily.
Whether you want to or not.
Yeah, dude, it's gonna happen. Which is like a great thing. So on top of being a Greta Gerwig movie, this Barbie movie is actually the second Barbie movie that was supposed to happen. The first one was supposed to star, what's her name? Amy Schumer, and it wasn't going to be directed by Greta Gerwig, and that project fell apart for good reason.
Yeah, I don't think I would want to see that movie.
No, me neither. Me neither. That Barbie movie would have been awful. Sorry, everybody who didn't work on that one, I guess.
Oh, can I say something real quick? So, just so you know, for the rest of this episode, I will be referring to Margot Robbie as Margot Barbie, okay? Because she was perfect.
That was a great note too. That we'll get to. That was the fourth wall break was absolutely warranted. But yeah, this so second Barbie movie that was being made. Mattel has been on board with it the entire time. So I know a lot of people were like, "Oh, it makes Mattel look bad." It didn't really at all. Yeah. It's just. Yeah.
If they made the first one, maybe.
If they had made the first one, it might have. Yeah, absolutely. So some other fun facts. It took $200 million to make, which is on par with like an average Marvel movie. And it international box office grossed $1 billion, which makes Greta Gerwig the first female director to have ever directed a movie that surpassed $1 billion. Which is a huge deal.
Applause, bro.
Yeah, we don't fuck around with that one. That one's that was a pretty big deal. Not gonna lie, that was a massive deal. Yeah, especially on a weekend that Oppenheimer opened, and everybody was anticipating Oppenheimer to like blow everything out of the water, quite literally.
Bro, do you think Christopher Nolan heard that Barbie was going to be releasing around the same time, and he was like, "Oh shoot, no. I can't believe I have to go up against Barbie." I really don't think so either, but turns out that was like the worst thing that could have happened to him in his movie was Barbie playing at the same time. I wonder, I seriously am curious as to like his thoughts on that and how he feels about it, because that's kind of funny to me.
Yeah, I would love to hear Christopher Nolan's thoughts on the Barbie movie in general. Just to be like, yeah, well, 2 movies came out that weekend and 1 movie was better. And it wasn't mine. It also ruined the experience, so I did the Barbenheimer double feature. Well, we did it over the course of the weekend, so we didn't do it in the same day. But we saw Barbie first, because that's the one that we both cared to go and see more, Sybil and I.
Not we.
Yeah, he still hasn't seen Oppenheimer. So we saw Barbie first, and it was phenomenal movie. And I was like, oh, that means Oppenheimer has to be really good because people are saying really good things about it. And then I saw Oppenheimer, and there was a moment where Sybil and I both looked at each other, and we were like, probably should have saw this first.
She just saw Barbie a second time.
Probably should have just saw Barbie a second time. Oppenheimer's still a great movie, absolutely. Christopher Nolan does not know how to write a female at all. He barely knows how to write people, in my opinion. But he makes phenomenal movies. But it's hard to get attached to any of his characters. And it still was the case for Oppenheimer, by the way. We're not talking about Oppenheimer, though. We're talking about the phenomenal masterpiece that is the Barbie movie. So yeah, those were my facts. Again, there's a lot of fun controversy that was coming out of it. Not for the fact that it was like a Barbie movie or was a movie about, well, part of it is it's a movie about women and women's struggles and men bad and all of this. And I have lots of thoughts about that. And I've also been validated and justified on my thoughts through Greta herself. And yeah, so I just want to see what you got out of it to see if you missed some subtleties here and there like other people, or if you're a subtext king like me.
Well, I wouldn't claim to be a subtext king, but what I will say is that this movie, there are certain things, like I said, criteria for me. I think everybody has a different criteria for what they would consider a good movie. For me, sometimes it's like a ding against a movie is if it takes me out and I'm thinking a lot outside of the movie, like, oh, that doesn't make sense or whatever. But I will say this movie, I mean, I think it's perfect for everybody because, like, whether you just want to go and just turn your brain off and then have a fun time, like, this is the movie for you, right? Like, you're going to be entertained. You're going to have fun. The music and the songs are funny and hilarious. The characters and the situations are great. If you like a little depth to your movies, which, like, generally speaking, for a general movie, I do, this is definitely not a movie where I expected to have a lot of depth, but my goodness, it was very deep, and there was a lot of social commentary and stuff like that. So if you like those kind of things, movies for you. I think it just kind of hits a wide range of movie fans who would just love movies. Like you don't have to be a guy or a girl to go and enjoy this. Like I did, so I didn't feel weird at all. Because I went for early matinee and there was like 15 people in the theater and I was just sitting there by myself as this, middle-aged guy just watching a Barbie movie. But it's so cool because like there were older people in there was younger people, there was kids, and like I remember there was a little boy. As we were leaving, I heard him talking to his mom, and she was like, "Oh man, that was the best movie. It's my favorite movie." And I was like, "Wow, so." But I think we should. I mean, let's get to the deeper stuff when we get to it. But just starting off, it's just very very fun and light and kind of whimsical. You know what I mean? There's a lot of humor, man. Maybe you'll remember there was one part I think that really struck me. I think it involved Ken and they were driving off or something. But really, it's kind of Barbie is in Barbie land. Everything's all perfect and stuff. And then like as they're going through, you get introduced to all the Barbies, all the Kens, and it's a wide
and Alan,
Michael Cera, great, yeah, Midge, the pregnant Barbie, Alan, was supposed to be Ken's friend at something. He didn't have a long shelf life, because he's a toy. But anyways, we get introduced to kind of their world and kind of how things are set up there. And then we get a disturbance in the force, I guess I would say. Margot Barbie, she starts to have an existential crisis, I guess. She's thinking about death, and everybody's like, what's going on here with you? And then the next day, like her world is just starting to fall apart and crumble. I mean, I don't think any of us can relate to that. You know what I mean? Just waking up one morning and just feeling like everything is off and nothing is right in the world. I think that's completely unrelatable. Just happens in the movies, never in real life. But yeah, like that's when we start to see that, like, hey, whatever is going on in the real world, our world, I guess I would call in this movie setting, their world is just as real. Yeah. But in our... It's the upside down. Yeah, exactly. In our more, the realistic, not Barbie world, obviously the things that happen in there as they relate to the Barbies can impact each other, right? So, I don't know, is there anything you want to say about the intro? Yeah. The things that happen?
So there was a lot of people who apparently didn't understand that the whole point of the first like 20 minutes of the movie, 30 minutes, is they were like, yeah, it just felt very forced. It felt very forced and like not funny. And I went, yeah, that's the point. It's supposed to feel like that because the whole Barbie world is forced and kind of not, it's very tongue-in-cheek humor. It's like, I'm Barbie, and I'm going to wake up, and I'm going to take a perfect shower, which has no water, and drink and have the perfect breakfast, which has no food or drinks, and go have the perfect day on the beach where everybody loves me, and nothing's wrong ever. Yeah. Like, that's the whole point.
Yeah, we're introduced to Barbie, and she's a Barbie girl living in her Barbie world, and that's the whole point of the opening. Obviously, we need context for what is normal and then we get to see what's not normal.
Yeah, and then she starts talking about having thoughts of death, and everybody's like, Oh, and then we get introduced to Weird Barbie,
Yeah.
which is also awesome idea. I didn't know this going. Well, I knew it going into the Barbie movie, but I didn't know like when the marketing was going out that there's apparently a lot of deep Barbie lore. That's not actual Barbie lore. It's like childhood lore, where all girls who played with Barbies had like the same experience, where they had like their favorite Barbies, and then they had what they called the sacrificial Barbie, and that was the Barbie that they kind of fucked up and gave to their friends that they didn't trust, so that they could play with the Barbie. And that's what Kate McKinnon did. She played the weird Barbie, the sacrificial Barbie. There's a lot of other ones that I learned about, but I can't remember them right now. But yeah, weird that they hit real on the nose with that one. But yeah, so Weird Barbie knows about the real life, the real reality, and says that Margot Barbie has to go and find the kid that is making her think of death. And Barbie, being Barbie, was like, no, I'll stay here.
I think that's kind of realistic, right? I mean, I don't have any kids, but I'm sure that in some situations, having kids sometimes can make you think of death. and how difficult and horrible life is. No, I'm just kidding. Children are great. They're always the best. And just forget what I said. I wanted to mention too. A little bit more about the Kens, because that's a unique dynamic. Obviously, we have our main Ken, and then we have all the other Kens. Simu, I love Simu. He did great. Ryan Gosling is just too hot to handle. I mean, that's actually kind of insane how good looking and amazing he is. But he did a great job. I loved how he portrayed Ken. One thing that I thought was interesting too is like you really see how just Ken is just all about Barbie, but that's always been. I mean, that's what he was created. I mean, it's what he's created for. And real quick before I forget, I wanted to mention. I don't know if it's. I'm sure it is still on there. I think it was Netflix. There's a show called The Toys That Made Us, and they have a Barbie episode. You should check that out. It's very interesting, very cool, and it gives you a great history on just a lot of toys that you grew up with, or people our age grew up with, stuff like the histories. But
did you hear Ryan Gosling's interview on how he accepted the job for Barbie?
I did, but
so Margot Robbie and Greta Gerwig basically got together at the very beginning of Barbie, and Greta was like, I need to figure out who's going to be Ken. And Margot was like, it has to be Ryan Gosling. There's no other choice. And so she, for weeks, was just messaging Ryan, was like, you need to do this. You need to do this movie. You need to do this. And Ryan wasn't like against being in the Barbie movie at all. He was just like, I think I'm too old. I don't think that I have the energy for it. I don't think I'm attractive enough for it. So like, I don't know if I'd have the right energy or anything. And so Margot was basically like bribing him. It's like, I'll buy you a gift every day on set, and it'll be there for you every morning. And eventually, he got a text from Greta that was like, hey, I really need to know if you're going to be in this or not. I'd really appreciate it if you did. And he walked outside, and he saw a Ken doll that his daughter was playing with in the grass next to a squished lemon, like covered in dirt. And he took a picture of it and sent it to Greta and said, I will be your Ken, for his story must be told. and that's how it happened.
It's so cool, and then you really get to see how, Ken, because Ken and his kind of arc, kind of becomes the catalyst. He kind of becomes somewhat of the antagonist. I was gonna say, I don't know if there's a better way to put that, but he kind of drives the plot. All right. Hey, full-time movie fans, thanks for hanging out with us. Hope you had a good time. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment. We want to hang out and discuss the movie with you, so don't forget to do that below. Have a good one. I hope your day is everything you dreamed it being more.